Alright, welcome back to the Endless Final Fantasy Marathon-ish. Marathon-ish. I'm moving on to Final Fantasy V, which I decided to play on the Gameboy Advance. It's not the best version of it, but it's the most convenient version.
Did you finish 4?
Yeah. The graphics are a little off on this one, but it has some like translation stuff that I like better. And then when I played on the GameCube, I like that you hold the button down. You hold the button down in Final Fantasy like all the time. Then the GameCube has that giant ass button.
Oh yeah.
We're playing this one. This is on the Retron, so it looks really fucking nice. Is this recording? It is recording. I haven't actually played through the Game Boy Advance version of this. I've only played this game twice, and I've only beat it once. I played it on the PlayStation Collection when it finally came out in America, because this game didn't come out in America originally.
Really?
Final Fantasy 1, 3, so 1, 4, and 6 all came out in America.
Really?
And they called them 1, 2, and 3 when they came out here.
Right.
2 and 3 were on Nintendo, didn't make it out here. And then Final Fantasy V, which is this one, didn't make it out here until the series got big and they went back and started fixing their bullshit.
So did it not make it out because lifespan issues, or?
There was like weird. First off, like role-playing games are notoriously a lot of effort to translate and release.
Right.
So when they didn't think they would be popular out here, they would just not do it. Gotcha. So Final Fantasy IV came out, and when they released Final Fantasy IV here, they released the easier version of it, because the audiences in America for video games at that time, they were aiming for like 8 to 10-year-olds. Right. So like they were worried that like people wouldn't get into them, so they released like the easier version of Final Fantasy IV here. And then they skipped over this one. This one's actually a little bit difficult. It's more video game than like it doesn't hold your hand as much.
Right.
And then Final Fantasy VI came out, because Final Fantasy VI was amazing. Then we're gonna skip on that. Right. And that kind of started that kind of finished the end of like, let's stop skipping games.
Yeah.
Like, and then Final Fantasy VII, of course, sold 40 billion copies. So after Final Fantasy VII became huge, like role-playing games were big enough for them to release pretty much all of them. They started going back and re-releasing them. They packaged this game with Final Fantasy VI and released it on the PlayStation finally.
Was Final Fantasy VII probably one of the biggest games for PlayStation 1?
It was actually the second most selling game for the PlayStation.
What was number 1?
Gran Turismo. And
Really?
the only reason Gran Turismo beat...
Gran Turismo.
The only reason Gran Turismo beat Final Fantasy VII is pack-in copies. Yeah. So Final Fantasy VII is the top seller in pure sales for the PlayStation.
My first 2 games for PlayStation 1 were Crazy Taxi and Small Soldiers.
I've never played. I hate Crazy Taxi. I played it on the Dreamcast.
Oh, I love Crazy Taxi.
It's just so arcadey.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was like, 11 or 12 when it came out. Like,
This is one of the very first games I played on emulators on computer, like stolen games. Yeah. Because after I got done playing Final Fantasy VII and I was on AOL at the time, everybody was always talking about, where do you find ROMs? Where do you find games? Because they're, everybody's trying to steal them. Right. So that's how I found out about, getting video games, Super Nintendo games on my computer. Right. And then this one was one of the popular ones because, it hadn't been released. Right. So people went out, fans translated it, made a fan-made translation, made patches for it, made it where you could basically play it on your computer. Right. I only played like half the game, I think. And then, like, the emulator I was running at the time didn't even work that great. Like, some of the... like, there's layers, like, transparency layers on Super Nintendo games.
Right.
Like, stuff that, like, floats above you and stuff. Like, it's easier to tell later in the game that there's stuff going on like that.
Right.
But, like, they didn't work very well on the emulator I had at the time, so, like, some of the stuff looked broken.
Right.
Like the screen was just jacked up. But, yeah, the first time I played this game was one of the first, like, stolen... This is actually his name. It's Bartz.
And you're sticking with it?
Yeah. We're stick with all their names. The pictures on the screen they added to this version of it are based on the artist's art.
Oh, that's cool.
So they kind of added, it's kind of a cool thing. It looked weird to me at first because I was like, what? But yeah, they finally released this like way after Final Fantasy VIII, I think, actually came out on PlayStation in like a collection disc.
Right.
And I don't know, the game kind of tricks you into thinking it's going to be like a Final Fantasy IV or VI where it's like a story, super heavy story. Because at first it's kind of like that way, like narrative and stuff. But then after a while you really figure out it's more of a typical RPG where you build your stats and pick your classes and stuff, and the characters don't really matter as much.
Right. The story is...
And it kind of goes back to the original 4 Warriors of Light were chosen to save the world type thing.
It's a narrative driven story and not narrative driven story, not a character driven story.
That's not even that. It's just straightforward. All in all that, you just most of the time in this video game, the whole point of playing it's to build your characters up in like different classes and stuff.
Right.
Like it's very RPG instead of
right.
Like it's nothing like Final Fantasy IV and VI. It just kind of acts like it is, and then doesn't really go that way. It almost feels like a really great remake of Final Fantasy III, honestly, which is funny. Because we didn't get 3 either, so if you played 5, you wouldn't realize where this game came from.
Right.
It always felt like the odd one in America. Like, if you played it as it came out in America, this game would feel really odd.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if you play them in order like I've been doing, you can kind of see how this shit happened. Mm-hmm. Like, you could see the stepping stones that lead to, like, games like this.
So was 3 popular in Japan, or...?
I'm sure it was. It sold, whatever it sold. 3 is also like this. It's like a hard RPG type game with classes and stuff.
Right. See,
this shit pisses me off, alright? So, you kind of meet these people, and you're like, yeah, you guys can chill, you can go on your way, whatever. Like, he's like too cool for school. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm not going that way, you guys have at it. By the way, this meteor like just fucking landed, and this guy was out here and had no memory. So they go on their way, and then you get left in this area here that looks like, it's like, how the fuck do you get out of this area? I'm gonna go on the secret first real quick. This shit pisses me off though. Ah, come on, where is it? Motherfucker. There it is.
Is it pixel perfect?
It's just like a fucking like line down there. But there's like no way out of here. Mm-hmm. You have to know to like walk through this tree to get out of here.
Is that the way you came back?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I didn't get stuck the first, whatever time I played this game, but the last 2 times I played this game, I got stuck there. It's like, how the fuck do I get out of here? Then, like basically there's this whole story about, like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna join you guys, and then you,
join them?
Your bird stops. Basically griefs you for not helping them, which is, that's cute and all, but then like that doesn't even get you to fucking do anything. This is what ends up getting you to do something. The world basically starts fucking crumbling around you. It's pretty dumb. This isn't the strongest story in the game. I picked the Gameboy Advance one because since the other version's on PlayStation, it's on a disc. Mm-hmm. It's fucking slow as shit.
Why is it slow?
Because it's loading times, man.
Oh, gotcha.
You're on a disc, it has to load a bunch of shit all the time. Gameboy Advance version's super fast, so I can just fucking fly through it.
Makes sense.
I could play like the translated Super Nintendo one, but then I don't have the ability to like swap between consoles and shit. I'm locked to whatever console I'm emulating it on.
Right.
So this just happens to be the easiest way for me to play the game. Having the actual cart means I can pull the card out and put it in something else if I want to keep playing it.
Right. Yeah, I never, growing up, got into RPGs because, one, none of my friends played them.
Yeah.
And then my dad...
Shit, man. If that was a reason not to play RPGs, nobody ever would have played an RPG.
Right. But then, like, my dad, who really got me into video games and stuff, he didn't play them either.
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of was something I never picked up.
That's actually really funny.
Which honestly is stupid to say because pretty much the only game I've ever played and beaten on any type of any basis is Pokemon, and it is an RPG.
Yeah. My friend's mom, who was like way old back in the 80s, actually played him. It didn't seem weird at the time, but she fucking played the hell out of him. She's older than I am now. And that was back when like video games weren't really aimed at adults.
Right.
And she played Final Fantasy. I remember her playing Phantasy Star. She'd like be playing Phantasy Star, and we'd just like fly around the map, like she like leave it sitting there because it had like an airship type thing.
Right.
I still never beat Phantasy Star 3. Bummed me out. I'm not a big fan of that series, but
RPGs make sense to be a video game girls would get into to me.
Yeah.
They're really kind of girly storylines. They're all about like love and stuff like that.
Well, I mean that.
Not all of them, but kind of.
That became a thing when later. I mean, depends on the game. Like
right, no. Like I said, generalizations.
I mean, they're all adventure stories, and you have a group of characters. It's usually easy to have a love interest in the group.
Right.
But
and you usually have a strong female character.
I think that's more common now than it used to be. Like they're like, "What's that spring?" And then it's like, "Fight." Anyways, yeah, it turns into like quite a bit of a grind right now. It's kind of sucks. Like the game's based on getting these classes and switching them up. You have to get so far into the game before you start getting to do real fun stuff with them. So,
right.
Like at least with Final Fantasy like 4 and 6, you start off as a class of some kind because there's no switching it up.
Right.
So like the first people you meet in the game are like a knight and a fucking summoner or whatever.
So you level these characters up to a certain point and then you assign them a class?
Well, they're when I get to this first shrine, and like an event will happen and it'll just dump a bunch of like jobs on me that I can pick, and then I have to like pick what I want to do and start working on them.
Right.
Like, and that's how the game runs. Like, you choose what class you want, and the characters look different based on what class you pick, which is kind of cool. It's like if you pick a bunch of white mages, they'll be in white mage outfits, which is cute.
But like, it doesn't matter. Like, your guy could be any one. There's not any one that's more suited towards him.
No,
that's cool.
Pretty much pick what you want.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a job based Final Fantasy. It's very odd compared to the other ones. They did the same thing with 3 and Final Fantasy Tactics. The sequel Final Fantasy X2 sort of had a job system in it, where like the one you played, the X, like there's a sequel to that with just the girls. They also can pick jobs, but they're all kind of like weird. It's a very weird jobs. They're like dancers and stuff. But yeah, they mix them up, man. Like the one right after this goes back to characters having specific styles of
6.
Yeah, classes and shit. And this goes by so much faster with fucking Gameboy Advance.
Right, I can definitely tell that.
It's nice. I'm glad about it right now because when I get to the PlayStation versions, when I start playing like 8 and 9 especially, it's gonna be fucking slow going. I'll be able to cook through this game probably in a week or so.
Those are the ones you get. You have to play on disc, right?
No, I'm gonna play them on my PS TV.
Oh, gotcha.
But they're still fucking slow.
So why isn't the loading faster then?
They're just slow. They're slow games. No. They're also, 8 and 9 are already like, there's so much story in 8 and 9 that they're going to be, they're longer just by virtue of having tons and tons of dialogue and cutscenes and shit.
Oh, makes sense.
7 will go by quick because I can't wait to play 7 again.
And then you can eventually play the remake of 7.
Yeah, like 30 years from now when they finish it.
My kids at some day is going to be like, Dad, did you hear they're remaking Final Fantasy 7?
So this, I always thought, this never occurred to me how like funny this scene is. Like, alright, so like the whole, and like pirates, pirates like a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they always talk about like stowaways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's always a thing with pirates, but it's never like really a thing in any pirate stuff.
Right.
They're always like worried about stowaways on pirate ships, and you're actually gonna like sneak on and stow away on this pirate ship. I just thought it was really funny.
How long are you going with episodes on this?
I'm gonna go a little bit longer here because I'd like to get this part done at least.
It was really easy to sneak onto this pirate ship, though.
Yeah, you can like dick around on the ship too for a while, but it's easy to just go to just try to steal the ship, and then they'll like skip to the next part. They're like, why won't this ship work? This next character they introduced is the 4th like party member.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but maybe something about the images or her name or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a girl,
mm-hmm.
but it never occurred to me that was supposed to be a girl looking like a guy when I originally played the game. So I'm not sure why it's more obvious in this one that it's supposed to be like a girl on the down low, being a guy pirate, acting like a guy pirate. You find out later, they were like related, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But like for some reason, when I first played this game, I don't know if it was the translation or what, I automatically knew it was a girl. Like, it looked like a girl.
Right.
She looks a lot more like a guy in her picture right there.
I don't know. I immediately thought it was a girl.
Yeah. They refer to it as a he too there for a second. Like, I skipped through all the text, but whatever. But the idea is you're supposed to think this is a guy pirate king of like these pirates.
Right.
I don't remember how fast they let the secret
build.
Yeah. There is a moment coming up where you just found out the other girl's the princess of one of these kingdoms.
Right.
And the old man is the amnesiac from the fucking meteor. You're just some guy. Yeah. But, there comes a moment up where she's like, the pirate one's like, where did she get this pendant?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I have the same pendant. So you're supposed to know there's supposed to be some connection between them.
Right.
It's like, ooh. It's really not. It's like BFG compared to like, yeah, there you go. Why does this princess have the same pendant as I do? At least they tried to put a story in this game, I guess. It's really like 4 warriors banding together, picking jobs, and killing the shit out of an evil thing.
I like how they're hopping because they're tied up.
Yeah. It says untie them, and they don't untie them. I meant sometime today.
How did they not realize this was a chick? That's such a girl.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I actually wonder what her other picture looks like now, because I feel like maybe that's why she looked female. Or maybe I just knew from back in the day. I don't remember. It's been so long since I played this game. It's like 2009 or something, at least.
Right.
I was super looking forward to playing this when it first came out.
Let's see.
Oh, you find out the ship doesn't move by wind.
It moves by magic?
It has a giant dragon under it, which is kind of cool. It's a dragon-powered ship.
Is that her original picture?
No. That's like a artistic rendering. The same as the other one on the screen.
Yeah. One of the things is Ferris a guy or a girl?
Right. Alright. So we'll see on the next episode, because I'm going to head to the Wind Shrine now.